This is the weekly sales meeting for April 19th, 2026. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, destroy the option to say no. No is a word we hear often in the sales department. If you are asking enough, the law of averages says you will hear it 4 out of 5 times. That is, if you are good. The average is 1 in 10. Across all industries and all salespeople, the average closing ratio is 10%. That is a large amount of rejection to heap on anyone's shoulders. Outside sellers have it much worse than retailers. At least in a retail setting, when someone shows up at the door, they have self-selected as an interested buyer. They may already need what you sell, as they have beaten a path to your door. Outside sellers are not quite as lucky. Typically, we're headed into doors that are not opened for us. Phil M. Jones is a renowned sales trainer, a best-selling author, and a keynote speaker known for his practical expertise in persuasive language and selling techniques. He is best known for his book, Exactly What to Say, which teaches people the power of precise words to influence outcomes and close more deals. Jones has trained more than 2 million people across 5 continents, equipping sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders with simple, actionable phrases that remove objections and guide customers to say yes confidently and naturally. He says it flat out. We need to destroy the option to say no. It sounds aggressive. It is not. It is smart selling. It is ethical selling. It is the difference between the seller who gets ghosted and the one who gets the deal done. Too many sellers make it easy for the buyer to say no. They give the buyer exits. They give the buyer excuses. They give the buyer reasons to run away when the conversation gets real. Stop it. No is not always final. Often no means I don't trust you yet. No means I don't see the value yet. No means I am confused or scared or annoyed or overwhelmed. Your job is not to bully people. Your job is to remove every reason to say no except the truth. If the truth is they do not need it, fine, walk away. But do not let weak language, lazy questions, or sloppy framing create false no's that you then have to live with. Understand where no lives. No hides in confusion. No hides in vague offers. No hides in questions that invite it. You say, would you like to think about it? Guess what comes next? No. You say, can I check back later? They say, sure, which means no. You say, let me know what you think. They never do. That is a silent no. Stop handing them these easy escape routes. They will take them every time. Professionals remove the exits. One simple way to destroy no is to ask better questions. Do not say, do you have any questions? That invites a polite no. Say, what questions do you have? That assumes engagement. Do not say, would you like to move forward? That lets them opt out. Say, here's what happens next. That shows you expect progress. It's a subtle shift, but it produces a big difference. Phil M. Jones calls these the magic words because they remove the option to hide. They keep the conversation moving. Watch your framing. Lazy sellers pitch features. Buyers say no to features. Buyers say yes to solutions. They want results. They want someone they trust. You say, we have 20 spots in this package. They say, no thanks. Those are on Dalmatians. But if I say this plan will drive more traffic for your weekend furniture sale, now they lean in. You frame the offer around their pain, not your inventory. Every offer must point directly at a problem they admit hurts. If they do not feel the pain, they will say no. Your questions must surface pain before you ever get to the presentation of a solution to that pain. Ask, where are you losing money? Ask, where do you wish you had more customers? Ask, what frustrates you most about your current outreach plans? Listen hard. No, really listen to the answers. Take notes. Use their words when you present. If they say, we need to fill more tables on Tuesday, you say, this plan fills more tables on Tuesday, word for word. Frame the customer's problem with their words, and use their words precisely. That is how you destroy no. Next tactic, use assumptive language. Assumptive does not mean pushy, it means confidence. Bad sellers say, if you decide to move forward, we can start next week. Professional sellers say, when we start next week, here's how it rolls out. One word shift that makes those 2 sentences worlds apart. Assumptive language plants a yes in the buyer's mind. It treats moving forward as normal. It signals you expect success together. This works because people trust leaders. They follow certainty. Wishy-washy language is not certainty. Speak like a guide, not a beggar. Be clear in your directions. Another way to kill no is to shrink the risk. Buyers fear risk more than they fear cost. Often they will say no to protect themselves. You say sign this 12-month contract, the customer freezes. You get a no. If you say the best results come in the 9 to 12-month mark, let's work together and give this plan time to impact your business properly, now they feel safe. You removed a risk. You removed a no. You say you pay up front. They flinch. You say we spread the investment over 3 payments to match your cash flow. It is safer and much simpler. There's no reason for the customer to panic. Buyers like options, but not too many. Too many choices stall decisions. Keep it simple. 2 clear paths, with one as the best recommendation. Only use a fallback if needed. This reduces the chances they say no because they feel boxed in. Here is another way to move. Build small yeses before the big ask. Ask for agreement early in your conversation. You say, would it help if you had more weekday foot traffic? Of course it would. You say, do you want more people calling after hearing your ad? Yes. Each yes builds momentum. When you finally say, here is how we do it, the buyer has already agreed on the goals. Now the plan feels like the natural next step. This is not trickery. This is trust stacking. No also hides in unanswered objections. Amateurs fear objections. They tiptoe. They hope the buyer forgets. Professionals pull objections into the light. You say, what concerns you about moving forward? You can say, I can sense some hesitation on your part. What is causing this hesitation? Now you have the truth. You can handle it. You say, what would stop this from working for you? Now you uncover the roadblock. Address it directly. Show proof. Offer reassurance. Silence is your enemy here. Objections in the open can be solved. Hidden ones kill deals. Every time you solve an objection, you close one more escape door. Let's tackle another spot where no breeds. Slow follow-up. Slow follow-up says you do not care. It says you have other priorities. It says you are not serious. Fast follow-up says you mean business. It keeps momentum alive. It reminds the buyer that they matter. Do not wait a week to send the proposal. Do not let days pass before you check back in with your prospect. Stay visible. Keep connected. Stay relevant. Speed kills the no. Consistency kills the no. Amateurs pitch once and disappear. Professionals circle back, and when they do, they add value. Sometimes that requires refining the plan. Other times it requires re-examining the plan. Buyers trust persistence more than perfection. Some sellers hide behind the price. They think dropping the price kills the no. Wrong. Price is rarely the real problem. The real problem is a lack of perceived value. Cut price and you teach the buyer to see you as cheap and not valuable. Never lead with discounting. Lead with proof. Lead with outcomes. Lead with stories of results. You say, our other client in your industry saw a 20% lift in calls. You will too when we run this plan. Proof crushes doubt. Doubt feeds no. No proof, no peer validation. Then you can expect the no. In fact, you can count on it. There is also a tone that destroys no. It is calm confidence. Desperation stinks. It leaks through every word. Buyers sniff it. They push back harder. Calm confidence says, I know this works. I know it helps you. I know you will be glad you did it. Confidence does not mean arrogance. It means you believe in what you sell. If you do not believe it, stop selling it. Belief is contagious. So is doubt. Every word you say drips with one or the other. Buyers hear it before they hear you ask for the order. Another way you can present this is to make no inconvenient. Lazy sellers end meetings with, so what'd you think? That is an easy no. Real professionals will say, let's lock in next steps so you get the results faster. Professionals schedule follow-up dates before leaving the room. We confirm who signs, how billing works, and when the first ad runs. A buyer who nods at every step is much less likely to hit you with a surprise later. They are already invested. Inaction feels harder than action. It is also a walk back of a public-facing statement. That is hard for most people to pull off. Here is one more way to bury the no. We need to qualify better up front. Bad prospects say no a lot. Good prospects say yes more often. If they cannot afford you, move on. If they have no budget, move on. If they do not believe in marketing, move on. Do not waste time polishing a pitch for the wrong audience. Find the right buyer, identify the pain, and bring it to light. Frame the offer to solve the problem. Do this, and no doesn't have anywhere to live. This is not magic. This is discipline. Back it up with an example. Seller I know used to end every presentation with, "So what do you think?" Then he switched it up. He started every meeting with questions. He wrote down every pain point in their words. When he presented, he said, "You told me you struggle with weekend traffic. Here is how this fixes that. You said you need more first-time customers. Here is how this attracts them." He finished with, "Let's get started so you do not lose another Saturday." That is tactical relevance wrapped up in the customer's language. No was awkward for the buyer because our seller made the yes the easy choice. His closing ratio doubled in 3 months. He did not bully. He removed doubt. He made no uncomfortable. He made yes feel normal. You can do the same. Destroying the option to say no does not mean being pushy. It means being precise. It means leading with confidence. It means removing confusion, excuses, and doubt. It means keeping the buyer moving forward until yes feels like the only smart answer. It feels like the safest alternative to no or doing nothing at all. What should you be doing? Start by asking sharper questions. Then listen harder than you talk. Frame every point in their words. Use assumptive language. Build small yeses into your sales conversations. Address objections fast. Make sure you follow up like a pro. Provide proof your sales plans work. Make sure you confirm next steps in the process clearly. Finally, qualify better so your ask lands with the right people. This is all very simple. It is not easy, but it is simple. Mr. Jones is right. Destroy the option to say no, not by pressure, but by removing every exit that fear, doubt, or confusion creates. Be the seller who shuts each door behind the buyer, step by step, with clear questions, real answers, and confident action. Make it easy to say yes and awkward to back out. When they look back, the only path open is the one you built with trust and clarity. No escapes, just a clear, confident yes. One last thing. Reading or hearing this is easy. Applying it today is what changes your results. Audit every word you use. Replace weak questions with ones that dig deeper. Rewrite your closing lines to sound confident, not uncertain. Sharpen your proof until it's undeniable. Practice until your delivery feels natural. If you want fewer no's, earn more yeses with stronger language and clearer solutions. Start now, not later. Reframe your next conversation. Make your words work for you, not against you. Then you will destroy the option for your customers to say no. My new book, Double Your Revenue, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy, or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.